I'm Solomon Crawford with Gaston Spotlight. Today, I'm joined with Men of Excellence Advisor and Success Coach, Mr. Kendrick McDowell. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm blessed. So Kendrick, before Men of Excellence became what it was today, it was formerly known as the Minority Mentoring Program. Mm-hmm. And what it was specifically for the black and brown people, or black and brown males, who were struggling to even break the cycle. Now, it's transitioned into something like better in a way. And it's where we can have group discussions, do fun activities, and go to college fairs just to even experience what college life is about. Mm-hmm. With that being said, what are some of the things that you've seen from the students to make Men of Excellence successful?
So I start off by saying that the Men of Excellence has transitioned, like you said, from being a minority male mentoring program to being more of a group that is open to everybody. Mm-hmm. And I think we saw that students need support. Mm-hmm. And so it's more than just minority male students. Even my role changed. Like, I used to be the Minority Success Initiative Success Coach. Now I'm the Special Population Success Coach, which means I work with minority male students along with modestly income students, along with out of the workforce students. So students need resources, and one of the things that we try to do, especially with the Men of Excellence, since it is open to everyone, is offer those resources to students. During our meetings, we'll have people from across campus that are representing those resources come and speak, and we'll have opportunities for students to engage with leadership opportunities. We'll have community service opportunities that students can participate in, along with those college tours and those college fairs that you talked about. Recently, we took some students to Winston-Salem State, and they were just able to experience the things that transferring from Gaston College would offer them. So we always try to open students' eyes to things outside of Gaston County, because a lot of times that's all they know. Yeah. So just giving our students the opportunities to explore and to learn and engage with different opportunities is what Men of Excellence is all about. Okay,
cool deal. And with that being said, what led you to this point to become the success coach?
So I started out at Gaston College as a youth specialist with the program called Next Gen. Next Gen is a program through the WIOA's initiative. And so what that does is it helps young adults 16 to 24 that may have dropped out of high school, that may have had a child, but the thing is about helping them overcome their barriers. And so what we do, what that program did, it opened my eyes to some of the issues that students are facing. And so when I transitioned into the role as the success coach here at the college, I saw some of the same issues, except I was working strictly with minority males. And so we kind of focused more on the things that they were going through. And since I went through a lot of those same things, since I don't know if you know this, but I am also a minority male, and I was a first-gen college student, and I didn't have a lot of the resources that I needed to be successful, and I had to learn the hard way. Yeah. So one of my things that I try to do here is make sure that students understand, like especially some of the more I ain't even gonna try to say it, some of the more difficult things about college, and just try to help them learn and open their eyes to opportunities. And so that's how I got here, and I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to be able to work with so many amazing students and help them achieve their goals. Okay.
When you said that you were also, of course, obviously a minority male.
Yeah.
I've experienced a lot of those things, and we've talked about this plenty of times where I'm also first gen of all my siblings, and you having siblings as well, like being able to relate to me is kind of like big. So seeing someone do something great in my life, it kind of helps me to realize that I have the potential to keep going and be better than what I was.
And I think a lot of times with the Men of Excellence, it's more about mentorship. And so a lot of the conversation, like you were just saying, a lot of times the conversations have nothing to do with school.
Nothing,
you know, because you know, students are complex, and it's more about it's more than just homework and schoolwork. you're dealing with real life. How am I going to get to school if my car's broke down? How am I going to pay for the bills because my mom needs help with rent? And like being able to talk through some of those things and offer mentorship to students. It's something I'm passionate about, and it's something I'm grateful that I get to do every day. Like, I'm not always going to have all the answers. I'm not always going to be able to help. But, just having a conversation sometimes can spark something in you, or presenting a resource to you can help overcome some barrier that day. But, I think a lot of times students just need somebody to talk to, and I feel extremely grateful that like with students like you, I have the opportunity to have those meaningful relationships. And like I would love to see you walk across the stage. Like we talk about this all the time. The ultimate goal is to graduate. And so whatever we got to do to get you there, that's what we're going to try to do.
For sure. And I will admit, sometimes some of our students will get hard-headed.
A little hard-headed, it's okay.
But that still doesn't negate the fact that y'all see something in us that we don't see in ourselves. And when we finally are able to see that light, it's kind of refreshing, because now we're actually able to use what we've been taught and actually apply it. And I never told you this, but I do appreciate how many times you were on me about that. And it's very beneficial. And with that being said, what challenges did you face while becoming a mental of excellence statistics coach?
So some of the challenges that I have faced during my time, and probably the biggest one obviously was COVID. During that, so we literally, I think, did you go to the Men of Color Summit with us in 20?
Yep.
So we went to a summit where students were able to have all these amazing experiences. And then we got back, and literally that next week, the world shut down. And so one of the hardest things for me is because I am a very social person. I like face-to-face interactions, having to go virtual and still be able to connect with students over the phone and via email and Zoom. It was extremely difficult, and a lot of times I felt like students were just disengaged, and that makes sense because the world was shut down. So that was probably the most difficult thing. And then coming back from that, it's just been trying to keep students engaged from beginning of the semester to the end of the semester. I think when we get here in August and September, like students are super engaged, they're excited, and then classes get hard. Assignments start piling up. They start missing class, and their engagement level drops with the Men of Excellence, and their engagement levels drops with a lot of things. But just trying to keep them engaged from beginning to end is the thing that I think is still difficult. So trying to find ways throughout the semester to provide opportunities, to provide experiences, is what we try to do.
Okay. And when you brought up the point of the Men of Color Summit, like as soon as I got home, and I found out the world was shut down, I was like, wow, another day of my life. If that makes sense. Because me, I'm not very much of a social person. But as the world started opening back up, it forced me to be more, social and outgoing. And now I'm at a point where I can talk to somebody with no issues, if that makes sense.
It does.
And I do have another question for you.
Okay.
What advice would you give any young man who's trying to make a name for himself or trying to become somebody in this world?
So the advice that I would give a young person trying to make a name for themselves is that figure out your why. This is a thing we do at the beginning of each semester, is we talk about why you want to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, why you're here at college, why like you have these goals. And if you establish what your why is, and then you set goals to work towards achieving that why or achieving your goals, it'll go a long way into helping you be the person that you want to be. Like ultimately, like you may not achieve exactly what you want, but if you work hard and you set goals and you have them be something that is easily or have them be attainable, it can go a long way into helping you create a lifestyle that you want to lead. And so I would always encourage people to figure out their why and then set goals to work towards that. Figure out your why.
Yeah. That's big. I appreciate you for even taking time out of your busy schedule to come talk to me today. Thank you, and this is Solomon with another great episode of Gaston Spotlight.